FIFA President Sepp Blatter has rejected David Cameron's description of football in politics as murky. Now, the Prime Minister used the description after England's World Cup bid attracted just 2 votes from FIFA's executive committee, despite promises of support from several members. But Blatter has defended FIFA, telling BBC Radio 5, "I don't like the word murky in this context. Have you ever had in the world transparency in votes or elections? You do not know who will win until the end." He added, those that have lost, I can understand they're not happy. If England had got past the first round, I'm sure they would have got more votes in the second round, but the problem was that they didn't get through, and the same happened to Australia for 2022. Blatter also voices worries about the growing strength of the club game, although he insisted his concern is not solely focused on the Barclays Premier League. He said, "I haven't got a problem with the English Premier League." Well, but Platini has, ain't he? He said, "I haven't got a problem with the English Premier League. I have a problem with those leagues that use the majority of players not from the country where the league is played. This is detrimental to the national team. There is a movement also, and this is a real danger. There are directors or owners of clubs, not only in England, saying, why should we continue to have national teams? This is a struggle we have now. It is very important, and one day somebody will be at the head of FIFA who represents the interests of club football." Blatter added, "There is a lot of criticism towards me." No crap, Sherlock. Yes, Blatter, you are criticised a lot. Straight Shootin LJA would like to say he's been criticising you and calling you a moron, idiotic, borderline retarded, among other things, for the last 4 to 5 years. But that's neither here nor there at the moment. But Blatter goes on to say, "I think we are on the right path if we think that football is not only a game, not only is football for hope, but football as a school of life."
Why does he talk in riddles?
I don't know. He's talking in Chinese riddles, but murky. Do you know what? Yeah, football in politics clearly is murky.
Yeah.
I mean, like, Qatar having the weakest technical bid but still getting the World Cup. England not even getting past the first round, even though they had the best bid by a mile. And yeah, I don't get it. I really don't get it. I mean, you want to talk football politics ain't murky, just look at Jack Warner. If you want an example of murky in FIFA, he's the perfect example.
I will spit on you.
But I do not want to waste my spit. I do not want to dignify my spit. It's like, all right, either do it or not. Don't talk to him about it. They have a 5-minute conversation about whether I'm going to spit on you or not. It's either I'm going to do it or not. But the fact is, I'm sorry, mate, but football and politics are clearly murky. Video technology, like I said last week, and that we have actually put rants of the week featuring Straight Shootin LJA, the Gman, and Gezzie Fizzle onto youtube.com/pitch talk. So have a listen to them if you haven't already. But it's a case of that there is. I love the fact that he's saying, "Oh yeah, there's no transparency in anything," but that doesn't make it right. There may not be. Blatter's a moron, but David Cameron is not far off, in my personal view. I personally think David Cameron is a giant TWAT, and that's me being nice about it. But at the end of the day, David Cameron using the word murky to describe football in politics, he might want to look at how his government has come into co-power with the Liberal Democrats, because no one got a majority, and those two agreed a power sharing deal where they just basically take on power and control of the country by default. So before you say football in politics are murky, Mr. Cameron, you may want to point the guns inwards and look at how you got to power in the first place, Mr. Co-Prime Minister. But let's bring this back to football instead of me getting on a political rant and getting on my high horse about that. Defeated England bid chief Andy Ansard admitted there is no point in the country bidding again until FIFA change, and revealed Sepp Blatter had spoken to members of the evils of the media just before they voted. Now, Russia triumphed, obviously, but back when it happened. But I just thought I'd bring this story back up because at the end of the day, it's just very. I just find this whole thing very, very weird. I mean, a politician coming out and starting chastising football about football politics being murky is pot calling the kettle black at the best of times. That's like, if you live in a glass house, don't throw stones. Let's throw in another cliche. But I don't know. I think FIFA's corrupt. I think not only FIFA but UEFA and to an extent our own FA. I mean, you've got morons, reprobates, idiots running the game. Platini has some sort of weird vendetta against English football, and he's running FIFA. He's running UEFA, and at the same time, me and you obviously see that Platini's a moron, but yet they've got no one in UEFA who's qualified enough to challenge him, so he's getting a second term unopposed. To me, that smacks of corruption. I mean, George Bush. I mean, you look at it. George Bush in America only got, without sounding like a conspiracy theorist, George Bush in America only got a second term because of some very, very shady activity. Obviously, a bunch of morons as well voting for him for a second time after whinging that he'd screwed up the country. Yeah, okay. So what? What's this? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But he broke the country, and you're gonna trust him to fix it. But that's neither here nor there anyway. But at the end of the day, you've got morons running the game. You've got pen pushers running the game. The offside rule is a joke, but certain other things are just absolutely hilarious.
No, there are a lot of stuff that needs to be ratified and cleared up within this game, and I don't understand why David Cameron's actually getting involved in football anyway when he's got bigger problems to deal with his bigger society. Yeah. That's for a different topic.
Yeah.
But no, I know you'd have loads to say about it. But,
oh my God, don't get me started.
But
I'm not 100% politically minded, but just don't get me started on it.
In terms of him saying the world of football being murky or FIFA being murky, I think he's got it bang on the head. You've been saying that. You've been ranting on about that for how long now? And
years, yeah.
The World Cup bid, like you said, it did prove it. It was like, wow, these guys were locked up in a room together. They came out, and
the best bid barely got 2 votes. And the worst bid gets the most. And it just where they've got to do the most work. Yeah, okay.
And it just happens to be that the best bid was from a country who were repeatedly criticising FIFA.
Yeah. But I mean, even with Russia anyway, I mean, they've got problems with racism over there. FIFA had to see that. The Qatar bid for 2022. Them temperatures are going to be like 50 degrees centigrade. What, you didn't see that in the dossier? You didn't read that in the dossier, and you still gave it to him. And then after giving it to him, then you want to flag it up as a problem. It's like, come on, man. The alarm bell should have been ringing early on both bids, but I just find it weird. But at facebook.com/pitchtalk and playvibes.com in the live chat room, what do you think? Are football and politics murky? And is David Cameron the right man to say that? Is it a case of calling the kettle black?